Indiana's top representatives in Washington visit the region to talk priorities. Hello, I'm Kristen Estes, and this is Lakeshore Report.
We're here in Gary, Indiana. Tune in for this.
Hello, I'm Kristen Estes, and this is Lakeshore Report. Senator Dan Coats and Representative Pete Visclosky are each making appearances in the region to discuss their proposed legislation and agendas. Senator Coats hosted a roundtable discussion with the Northwest Indiana Forum on Wednesday. The focus was Coats' recently introduced Sound Regulation Act, a proposal he says will help local businesses create jobs by reducing regulation and avoiding unnecessary paperwork. The bill would require every federal agency to engage in an extensive cost-benefit analysis of current regulations. Meanwhile, Northwest Indiana's Congressman Pete Visclosky has made several stops throughout the region to promote his plan to expand the South Shore commuter rail line. The project, called the West Lake Corridor, would extend the line into southern Lake County with proposed stops in Munster and Dyer. Visclosky has given local lawmakers a March 31st deadline to sign over enough local funding to make the project eligible for federal funds. If that goal is met, the new train line could be operational in 9 years. It was a short legislative session for the Indiana General Assembly, which wrapped up March 13th. While some lawmakers applauded the accomplishments of the session, including the governor, others questioned if more could have been done before the final gavel. Some of Indiana's youngest students are one step closer to state-funded learning with the approval of a pre-kindergarten pilot program for 1,500 students. The historic achievement is the first ever allocation of state funds for pre-K and received bipartisan praise. Lawmakers also gave local governments the option to waive the state's business personal property tax. The tax is a levy on business equipment that generates $1 billion annually. House Joint Resolution 3, the proposed amendment to define marriage as between a man and a woman, passed with changes this year, but because constitutional amendments require 2 rounds of approval, the measure could make a return showing in the 2015 legislative session. A Gary man is behind bars in Chicago after stealing an ambulance in Indiana and leading police on a pursuit across the state line. A spokesperson for the Lake County, Indiana Sheriff's Department says 34-year-old Edwin Herrera stole an ambulance near the intersection of Ridge Road and Klein Avenue in Highland Tuesday afternoon. Officers used GPS technology to track the vehicle and pursued Herrera northwest through East Chicago and eventually into Illinois. Chicago police officers joined in the pursuit, and Herrera finally surrendered after driving the ambulance into a field in the area of 9015 Mackinac Street in Chicago. Herrera is currently being held in Chicago but will likely face charges in Indiana as well as Illinois.